Hi, lovely to be back. It's Sunday and I'm back in HQ. We're canvassing today. Um, we've got Peter and Linda just popped in for some tea and Stollen. And that's the
Hi. Hi,
good view of
folks.
Stollen. So there's Andy's just disappeared into the bedroom because he's coughing. Uh, so I'm unmanaged. What can I get away with? I've called this one farming, flooding, and rural issues because I've had a few questions on those coming in. So hopefully that'll be a theme for today. And if you can give any questions along those lines, that would be fantastic. But if not, then we'll take anything. So I want to start off by giving a little bit of my relevant background. So when I was 18, I was very, very lucky and privileged enough to get a place at Cambridge. And when I got there, there were lots of, I made some fantastic friends, people I'm still in touch with and I'm proud to call my friends. But there was one person there who was different and he had a broad Cumbrian rural accent. And when his parents came to collect him at the end of the term, they were in a battered. Oh my goodness, I've forgotten to switch the notifications off. It's going to buzz. Just bear with me a second and I will try and knock the notification. Okay. Note to self, get that right in future. So when his parents turned up, they were dressed in, well, as Cumbrian farmer's dress, and the suitcases were tied on the top, the battered old suitcases were tied on the top of the blue Volvo with orange bale twine. And he was just different, and I liked him an awful lot. And when I came up in the Easter of my first year at Cambridge to the farm, I fell in love with, not just with him, but with the life here as well. His dad was a guy called Thomas Teasdale, who was chair of Cockermouth NFU and also chair of the Mule Sheep Association. If any of you have read the James Rebanks' A Shepherd's Life, then Dave's dad, Tom, was just like James's dad in that story, that generation, breeding mule sheep, blue-faced Leicester, tips and swaddly owls, and creating the mule lamb that are fell bred and then go off down the country to be overwintered. And so for many years after I graduated, I went to work in London as a business analyst, and just coming up here was heaven on earth. I'd work a long week in London, get the 5 o'clock out of Euston, and those trains, they always broke down. Sometime during the night, I would be out on a Cumbrian farm, hopefully with all the stars out if it wasn't too cloudy, amongst the sheep, and it just felt like heaven on earth. It was such a privilege to be part of that life as it was then. And Thomas, who became my father-in-law, he was, like I say, was chair of Cockermouth NFU, and he had various roles. And at that time, Dale Campbell-Savers was the MP for Workington. And he was always in with Dale Campbell-Savers, as were all the key people in agriculture around here and farming. And whenever issues arose, Dale Campbell-Savers was a very good MP, getting to grips with those issues, understanding exactly what they were very quickly, and just making sure that when things were going wrong with policy, they were sorted very rapidly. So people say to me, what could I do for farming and agricultural affairs? And I know that various systems have been built to respond to issues quickly since then, but they're now under substantial strain, especially due to Brexit and particularly due to hard Brexit. So things are going to be very volatile, and it is absolutely essential that we have an MP in place who is listening to people and is getting to grips with the issues extremely quickly and is in there at DEFRA and networking with all the key people on the key policy committees so that issues are understood on a nationwide basis, and that we can move really rapidly to ensure that our rural businesses don't go out of business for short-term issues, for short-term policy issues. So I know one that's emerged recently is the rural rates issue that's been reported, and that's the kind of thing I'll be looking to get my teeth into. Obviously, I'm not in a position to do it at the minute, but it's the kind of thing Tim Farron's been doing for a long time in South Lakes, and he's gained quite a reputation for working effectively and efficiently to get stuff addressed. Not just short-term stuff, but I've also talked to people who've benefited from the policies that he really supported on allowing farming families to build homes for their children on their farms, which of course always happened in the past but has been a problem with Lake District planning issues. And they got through legislation and policy that enabled families to live together on their farms so that they could function and build a future in ways that were a problem before. So rather than having a specific agenda for rural and farming issues, that's the kind of MP I would want to be. Being a rep, because I know that farmers, people who live in the countryside are very, very good at representing themselves, but sometimes they need the support of their MP, and I would be there for them. The other issue I put into the title here. Oh, before I go, I've been told that people have been sharing my videos. Please share the video. Please like the Facebook page so you get to see videos in the future. That would be great. Thank you. I've just realised I've forgotten. Is my rucksack around anywhere? I've got a special prop. Oh, it's here. If you get my black conference file out, I've got a sheet in there that I need to use as a prop. I've got a prop now and I forgot to get it out. So the other title to this Facebook Live, and please do send your questions, it'd be great to have them. The other title was Flooding Issues, which are huge here. I live in Cockermouth, and many people will know that we've experienced the most extreme flooding that pretty much anyone has ever known. In 2009, we were flooded from both sides of town, and in 2015, of course, we were hit by Storm Desmond. Flooding issues are colossal here in Keswick, where I am at the minute, and also in many other areas in Copeland, not just due to river flooding, but also due to surface flooding. So I've got a substantial... sorry. Stephen, stop it. Stop telling me about your rubbish issues at the minute in Cleatormoor. I'll deal with those later. I've got a substantial relevant background. I was asked to go and help out on Brigham. Stop it, Stephen! I was asked to go out and help out on Brigham Parish Council because they had really serious and intractable flooding issues, and they'd got stuck in a situation where there'd been expert reports that said that the water flows were coming one route through the village, and various solutions were being proposed that addressed what those expert reports said was true. But then the locals were saying, look, the solutions that are being proposed won't work, and these expert reports are wrong. But this had been going on for quite a while, and there'd been quite a lot of rows and stressful circumstances for people to be in. So I was asked to go and join Brigham Council as an outsider, because I thought it would help if somebody came who wasn't actually Brigham Village and just helped to get through these issues, because people had been resigning from the council and it's just very stressful. So I joined Brigham Council and I took on the role of flooding councillor so that nobody else had to deal with that, and spent an awful lot of time working on it for quite a while. And we eventually got to the stage where we had a clear picture of what was going on that was shared, and the expert views had been changed. And although it was still going to take a long time to create a solution to those permanent flooding issues, at least we've made some progress. And during that time, other people had joined the council and we got it onto social media. And it was a real privilege to be part of that for as long as they needed me. And as soon as they didn't need me because there were other people there to take that role on, then I moved on and did other jobs instead. And now I'm a councillor in Cockermouth for Christchurch Ward in Cockermouth. And that is the area of town that's got 400 properties in it that were flooded by Storm Desmond, all of which had been flooded before. I think every single one of them in 2009, because more properties were flooded then. So I was really keen to do that particular role because I got the relevant experience from working in Brigham, and I just value being in a position where, as a councillor, I can knock on people's doors, talk to them, listen to their issues, make them feel like someone's bothered, and be there for them if they get stuck with their issues, which they haven't, to be fair. There's really active flood action group in Cockermouth so I haven't been called on to do anything. Unfortunately, we haven't been flooded this winter, so I've just been able to be supportive of individuals. But in that role, I've been to the meetings of the Allerdale, the Derwent River Flood Action Group as well, and the Keswick Town Councillors are involved, and they've brought some substantial proposals to improve the flooding situation in Keswick. They've got some detailed work on how to change legislation to allow the Thirlmere Dam to function differently to protect Keswick and therefore everything downstream from Keswick as well from flooding. And I've also heard different views from people who have got some other ideas on how this situation could be addressed. For example, by creating some kind of tilting table on the Thirlmere Dam. They think possibly the release valves can't actually cope with the capacity that we wanted to cope with at the right time, and we need a different mechanism in there. So it'd be really good to be in a position where I could help bring people together, get them all talking to each other, and work for them down in Parliament, networking, to move that situation on. And also for the areas along the Ean and the areas that aren't river flooding but are surface flooding, I have a lot of relevant experience I can use to support local councillors and help them if they get stuck. Okay, so let's see if we've got some questions. This is a really good time to send questions in, guys. Okay, Jack Manifold. Lib Dems need to stop all this about a hard and soft Brexit. The only way we are going to get real changes on the matters we voted for is by leaving the single market. Well, I know that's true for some people who voted for Brexit, but it certainly isn't true for all of them. People voted for Brexit for all sorts of different reasons, and very few of them wanted to leave the single market. Your accent is very nice, thank you. I'm not quite sure what my accent is, but I don't know. It says here, Claire Martin and 2 other people just shared my video. Let them know that you appreciate it. Let's do some asking while we're here, my conference file. This is where I'm supposed to get good at the Anton bit where they tell people what they want. So, here we go. Here's my prop for today. The Facebook page is Hanson for Copeland, where 4 is spelled F-O-R. And please can you like that Facebook page and share it. If you like it, you can then type in the names of people that you're linked to on Facebook that you think might like to see this too. Please do that and encourage them to come and watch this video as well. And do click on share on the video. You should have a share button. Let's get people involved in democracy and let's give them the chance to ask questions in real time. My Twitter is Hanson for Copeland, and this time it's a number 4. And then this is the big one. www.rebeccahanson.org.uk. This is my website. And Liberal Democrats, we are not funded by big donors. We are not funded by the unions. We are funded by Roots Up. If you want Liberal Democrats in your area, you need to volunteer to give out leaflets. You need to make a donation so those leaflets can exist. That's the reality of it. All our councillors who are paid, all our MPs, everybody gives 10% of whatever they're paid to help to fund the party, but an awful lot of it has to come from donations for members. And of course, on that website, of course, there is a link to join the party. Do consider joining the party. Even for everyone, it's no more than £1 a month you can join for. And you should join and give it a try. Especially young people, let's have our teenagers and our students. You've got no ties to any jobs that stop you being political. Use that time to get a little bit of experience with a political party. So that's www.rebeccahanson.org.uk. There's a quick ask. Right, let's go back to some questions. Can the Liberal Democrats re-emerge as a credible national alternative to the Labour Party? Yes, we have to. Otherwise we're stuck with the Tories. We can and we will. Rebecca, you shouldn't be with the Liberal Democrats since their leaders cannot accept democracy in the result of the Brexit vote. Well, I think I should be with the Liberal Democrats because it's a place where I feel I can talk about reality. I don't feel trapped to follow dogma that I don't believe in. And it's a place where good policy gets made. Okay, we are lacking questions. I'd love to have some questions on rural farming flooding issues, but we don't have any. So if you have questions on anything, please send them now. Peter and Linda, have you got any questions?
Well, not really, Rebecca. The only question I would ask is, or really it's a request we could really do with some more people coming up to Copeland. Rebecca's doing a brilliant job and she just needs a few more hands at the tiller. So come on, it's the most beautiful part of the country, so get up here.
Peter and Linda have come up from Southport. So that's a really great example. In particular today, I have got a few bundles of leaflets that need to go out in Millom quite urgently. So if you're down that way or you could get to Millom, please post a message or get in touch with us. There's lots of ways to do it. Where's my prop again? Look, here you go. There's all the ways to get in touch with us. Facebook, Hanson for Copeland. Twitter, Hanson for Copeland with a number. RebeccaHanson.org.uk. That's how you can volunteer to help to have a political party you can really believe in. There's no more questions. I think it's time to stop. Okay, thanks very much for your time, and I'll be back with you tomorrow.